Are you looking for something yummy to make? Then let's go and make some Bolinha de Frango, which is chicken balls, for Marcus when he comes home from work today. Let's get into it. Someone wants to say hi.
Hi, I got Bobby.
All right, off you go now.
Bye.
So the reason I decided to make this was because I had a barbecue chook in the fridge that needed to be used. So I've shredded it up just by hand. And now I'm going to peel these potatoes. I might even grab a couple more, and we're going to chop them up and boil them inside this water. So then you're going to dice up the potatoes into tiny little pieces. You then want to chop up some coriander so you can put it in with your chicken. I'm then going to add in our favourite sauce, which is this one here, just enough to cover the chicken and the coriander and make sort of more like a chickeny paste. Once your chicken mix looks a bit like this, turn it off and then wait for the potatoes to come to the boil. While your potatoes are boiling, you might want to tip your chicken mix into a bowl because you're going to need your fry pan to fry up the balls at the end. Okay, so I've just checked and the potatoes seem to be boiled. So I'm just going to take them out of here and mash them with a masher, but I won't put anything in the potato. So we're just mashing the potato. I'm doing it bit by bit, but you could do it in a big bowl if you wanted to. And then we're taking that potato and pouring it into the chicken mix. Well, I'll get a scraper and I'll scrape it in there. So it's just going to look like that, and I am going to rinse and repeat, basically. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like, and we're basically then just going to mix the potato in with the chicken. So we're just grabbing the chicken, a spoon, and mixing it all around until it becomes like one. Now, I only did, I think, 6 potatoes. I probably could have done a few more, but that's fine. So you can see it's all like mixed through. Okay, now we're going to add in some breadcrumbs. Now you can use any breadcrumbs, but I'm going to use the panko breadcrumbs because that's what I've got at the moment. And we're going to start with putting in a cup because that's what you're supposed to put, but I may need some more. Now I'm trying to get it to a consistency where I can roll it into balls. So this is looking pretty good at the moment. I might just like to add in a few more breadcrumbs. Now you can definitely just roll the balls and fry them as they are, but I'm going to grab a little bit of mozzarella cheese and put it in the middle, and then I'm going to cover the balls again one more time in the panko breadcrumbs. Also, at the moment, I have the oil heating up, so it should be ready pretty soon. as you can see, I'm getting quite a little collection of them. So I'm just going to cook a few of them for us now, and I'm going to freeze the rest so I can cook them on another day. So as you can see, I've changed the pot that I was frying in, and that's because unfortunately the 6 that I put in at the beginning went everywhere. They all broke up. I didn't wait long enough for the oil to heat up, and unfortunately they all fell apart. So I'm now going in a new pot and I'm hoping for the best. Let's see if we can get these ones working. Okay, so I'm not going to lie, this is turning into a bit of a disaster. They're falling apart in the oil and I can't figure out why, except that I use panko breadcrumbs. So maybe some liquid is getting into them. I have no idea. So I am flipping this and I'm just going to try something new. So I have broken up 2 eggs and I've put out some I've only got self-raising flour. So put self-raising flour and I'm going to try and re-breadcrumb them in egg milk wash and some self-raising flour. I have no idea what's going to happen, but let's find out. So this was the first lot. It's an absolute flop, right? And I do have 3 going on in here, but you can kind of see that they're starting to split. These 2 I've managed to cook up, but they're just not looking the way they normally would. So I'm going to try and use this egg and flour mix to re-crumb these guys and see if it works out any better, because I don't want to waste all the food. I'm also wondering, should I just not have put the mozzarella cheese in there? Because I didn't do that last time and maybe it's causing some issue, who knows? But I saw someone else do it online and I thought I'd give it a try. Anyway, this is what they're looking like. I'm just going to try 3. Let's see. All right, so here they are. Let's find out what happens. I also think I didn't include enough potatoes. So if I was redoing it, I would do a whole heap more potato than I did. Because there's mainly chicken in there, it just is kind of falling apart. Anyway, we've got them in the oil. Let's see. The other problem is I'm running out of oil. So, this has been a bit of a disaster. Okay, so we've got these 3 in here frying up at the moment. Let's see if they turn out any better. And I'll keep you posted. All right, I would go so far as saying that was probably a complete disaster, but we do have a plate of cooked chicken balls now. I've got one here and I'm going to give it a try. I did try the one just with the panko crumbs and it was yummy, but it was falling apart. This one, it tastes good. It's not the right texture on the outside, but they're definitely edible. This is what it looks like. I like to put some tomato sauce. You want to try? It's not 100% great, but they still taste pretty darn good, even though the outside is not a breadcrumb. It's, you know, a breadcrumb covered in flour. Anyway, I'll jump on in a bit and I'll give you some, you know, feedback on how it all went. So here they are, finally finished. Bolinha de Frango com queijo. Chicken balls with cheese. Okay, so here's a few takeaways from today's cooking expedition. So in general, when you know a recipe, maybe stick to the ingredients you normally use. So for example, I used panko breadcrumbs today. They were definitely a lot more spacious, I want to say. And they didn't clump up as much as normal breadcrumbs do. So they didn't really cover the chicken ball in its entirety, and I think that might have been why the first batch just like melted out of them. So moving forward, I just use normal breadcrumbs like I normally do. Did experiment putting mozzarella cheese in them today. I think the mozzarella cheese wasn't that much of a problem, but maybe I'd put a little bit less next time moving forward. So I used the whole barbecue chook when I was shredding it, so it actually was like 2 breasts. But I didn't double the quantity of the potatoes. So I normally would put like 4 to 5 potatoes in with 1 chicken breast. So moving forward, I'd probably do at least 10 potatoes for that much chicken breast. This time around, we only did 6. I don't think they look too bad though, because Kiki has asked me if she can have a chicken ball, and she doesn't normally like to see anything with like green or red in it, but they smell good, they look good, they tasted good, so I think she's going to enjoy it. I think I should make sure that I've got some spare oil in my house, because I was really worried for a minute there that I wasn't going to have the oil to use because I'd wasted it in the first batch. And remember, I hadn't intended to cook them all. I did end up cooking them all just to make sure they were done, but I hadn't thought I would do it that way. I was going to split them up over 2 meals, so I didn't think I needed as much oil as I went through. Speaking of oil, I had a bit of a mishap where I put too many chicken balls in the oil and it started to like go over, and I was really scared I was going to set the whole place on fire. So I transferred the oil to a different burner and I turned off the one I was using, and it was a flop. The whole thing has been a disaster, so much mess. But in the end, we have the chicken balls and they're yummy, and the kitchen is now clean, so we're done. But it took way longer than it needed to take. So I would just say, just be careful with the stove and the oil as well. Anyway, for now, I think that's it. They're my takeaways. They're what I would change moving forward. Let me know in the comments if you're going to bother trying, or if you think this was a complete and utter flop. All right. Bye for now. See you in the next one. Is your chicken ball yummy?
Yeah.